Welcome to the Gibberpish podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 27. Yep, I think we're on episode 27 of the Gibberpish podcast. My name is Dom Anderson, and this week, like Han, I'm flying solo. Me and Colin's schedules, my co-host, I will reveal to you in a minute, is shaking his head over the mic. Me and Colin, our schedules are kind of all up in the air. He's working a lot, I've got college and work obligations, schedules are not really fitting together. So he's doing his own thing with a group of guys that will be released fairly soon. He's sending me the copy, I'm going to have a look over it. Hopefully get that out to you sometime this week. But he can't be the one having all the fun, so I thought I'm going to find a co-host and I'm going to sit down and do an episode. And with that said, I'm going to introduce my co-host. This is a person I've known since, say, mid-high school, kind of got me into games. And this is going to be a fairly game-heavy episode, so I thought, why not get someone who knows a shit ton about games in. He runs his own stream. He used to run his own YouTube channel before it kind of went tits up and he got bored with it. He owns more games than a 25-year-old man should. But people on the internet might know him as Argick, but I know him as James Kerr. How are you doing, sir?
I'm alright, man. Cheers for having us on the podcast today.
Awesome. And today, what we're going to talk about is just a lot of gaming stuff. A lot of, usually get geek stuff on the Gibberpish podcast. I probably should have said I'm hosting the Gibberpish podcast. I don't think I actually did. But anyway, this week we've got the two newest additions to the Smash roster, which me and James have had some hands-on time with. They're a lot of fun. We'll get into that a bit later. We're going to talk about Deadpool, what we think about that, because apparently it's fucking good. Like, one of the best Marvel films to come out this year. I know it's pretty early, but apparently it's the best Marvel film this year.
I should hope it is going to be a good film. It's fucking Deadpool.
Yeah,
Come on.
I mean, that's a lot of people's argument for it is, oh, it could be shit, it's Deadpool. Oh, but it might get a bit grating. It's fucking Deadpool. Apparently one of the best Stan Lee cameos as well. And other ones he's been a cop, other ones he's been like an army veteran. This one, strip club DJ. He's earning his money this time. Absolutely earning his money. What else have we got to talk about? I want to talk a bit about DC's Legends of Tomorrow. A friend on the podcast, a friend of the podcast who contacts me regularly through Twitter and Facebook, let me into this. It's called DC's Legends of Tomorrow. I watched the first episode of it and it was really good and it was really quite dark. There's a twist in it at sort of the tail end of the first episode. It was really dark, expertly delivered by Arthur Darvill, who most people might know as Rory Williams.
Yep.
Rory Williams from Doctor Who season Matt Smith.
Season Matt Smith is the best way to put it.
Season Matt Smith. Also, I have another bit of Doctor Who related news. Do you know that Emma Watson has been pegged as the favourite to replace Peter Capaldi after Peter Capaldi regenerates?
Now, see, this is interesting because I've seen on the news that they were, well, on the internet.
On the internet.
News is the internet. But I seen that Capaldi is planning on stepping down after the next season.
Yeah.
Now, my initial thoughts on that, fuck off. He's not even had a decent go at it yet.
He's not even had that good a go, because it's no secret that, if you listen to this podcast, it is no secret that I do not like Stephen Moffat. I do not think he's a good writer. I don't think he's done anything good for Doctor Who. I have recently watched all of Sherlock. He's good at writing Sherlock. He is fucking terrible at writing Peter Capaldi as the Doctor. So any change there to help him kind of exit the season, because he's doing one more season, then that's it. Anything that will help him smooth that process along would be good.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree on that. I mean, I can't argue with you against Stephen Moffat. I am a Russell T Davies fan. I loved his stuff with David Tennant. Like, to me, that was the pinnacle of Doctor Who. Yeah. And I love Capaldi as a Doctor. Like, I really do. The fact that he comes in starting episodes playing guitar is fucking legendary. It's just like, there you go, it's sorted. Yeah. Like, Clara's away, need a new companion.
That annoyed me. I think Clara could have stayed for a bit longer.
Well, has she?
I missed quite a few episodes. There was the episode before she left. I think I watched the episode where she disappeared, and then my Sky got disconnected, so I missed a whole bunch of episodes. But then there was images circulating about the Facebook page on the Doctor Who Facebook page, and it was her in a server's girl outfit working behind a counter in a cafe. So I'm thinking, is she really dead, or is this some kind of weird other Clara Oswald from a different timeline, or what the hell is going on? Right,
okay, that's the very last episode. I can enlighten you if you want.
I am done with Doctor Who.
Right, fair enough. That was Clara. That was Clara as disguised for her exit. She is effectively dead. She was killed by, as I like to call it, just the Chrono Raven. The Raven has came and killed her. It has taken her soul, her life, her time force. That's it. She cannot escape it. However, she is with Maisie Williams' character, exploring the world, having all the time in the world, because she's effectively not a being in time anymore. Time has no control over her. So those two were left exploring the world, doing whatever they wanted. It's a loose end that I hope leads into something. And the ending in the American diner style place was basically her making sure the Doctor was okay after her death, because he went through a whole lot to get her back, only to be told it's not happening.
Yeah.
But there you go. Then it led on to the Christmas special, which I hope you've seen.
I did not watch.
Oh,
No, I had an exceptionally busy Christmas.
Well, I will say, take the time, go watch that. Not going to spoil on that one. But getting back to the original topic,
Just as a kind of side thing, I could not stand Maisie Williams' character at all.
Really?
I could not fucking stand her. She bugged me so much. She's fine in her annoying little way in Game of Thrones, which she's endearing in that, but then when she came to this, she was, Doctor, help me, I'm immortal, but I don't know who I am, but I know who you are, and I don't like you, but I do like you, and I'm just a mess. Fuck off, get the hell off my TV screen. You are worse than Missy.
Oh, God, no.
Missy annoyed me. Missy annoyed me a lot, but then she grew on me, because she was Scottish and she was funny, but she wasn't the master to me. She was always this other time lady called the mistress. I never made that connection, or I forced myself not to make that connection, and then when it kind of dawned on me that, oh, right, they're really trying to peg her as the master, shit, I may as well get used to this.
No, for me it was the same with Macy's character. It's a case of you go through and she's there at the start. She's now immortal. Ishilda, that's the character name. Ishilda,
yeah.
yes. It's like that's the character name, and she's going, oh, I'm immortal now. I need help. Like I'm living through time. I'm experiencing every living second. I see people live and die. I make friends. I make lovers. I lose them. Unlike the Doctor, who literally just jumps back and forward to wherever the hell he wants. So she is coming into these episodes basically jaded as fuck, and with honest reason. And it gets to the end of her story, and to me, she was a very well developed character. It was one thing that Stephen Moffat did right, in my opinion. It was great seeing her coming in, and she was almost as if she was the Doctor. What was she is the Doctor's antagonist, basically. She wasn't
the antithesis of the Doctor.
or the antithesis. Yeah, it's like she is there to draw on the evil of the Doctor, the darkness of the Doctor, to pull that out of him, but not to go mad and just destroy everything, but to make him think on what he's actually doing. And I like, that's what I felt when watching it, and it was really good. But now those two are off, and Capaldi is now alone. We don't know who the next companion is going to be. As you said, it could be Emma Watson. But
no, Emma Watson she's going to be the new Doctor.
Oh, the new Doctor.
Yeah, she's not the new companion. She's going to be the new
female Doctor. Needs to be the Doctor's daughter, who she originally was, because yes.
Now,
But
for
yes.
me, I think if there's anything that could make me watch Doctor Who again, get me interested in Doctor Who again, it would be making Emma Watson, who may be proof of God's existence as far as I'm concerned. No one could create randomly this being. She needed to have been made somewhere. Something like that could make me watch Doctor Who again. But if Stephen Moffat were to write it, I know he'd fuck it up. Like, I'm not attacking him as a person. He probably is a really nice guy, but his writing style is what stopped me from watching Doctor Who.
Well, I will say the same article that was saying Capaldi's leaving. Capaldi is apparently going because Moffat is also going at the same time. It's another case of both the actor and the writer are going at the same time. That can only be good.
Yeah, it brings into the rule of three, because every Doctor has only ever done 3 seasons. So Peter Capaldi's finished his 2nd season now. There'll be a third and last season with Moffat before he leaves for pastures new. So it fits that, but at the same time, I would have liked to have seen more better use of Capaldi, because it didn't really feel like they were using him that well.
No, I agree. The storylines that he was given are just it's compared to everything else that's came before, there wasn't a lot of danger or excitement or anything really terribly new to Capaldi. And I have to admit, the one thing I hate about the entire series, including the writer, and I'm glad they got rid of them, Sonic sunglasses.
Yeah, that was useless.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah,
the
it
Doctor.
Was the fact that they broke so easily and he just had a supply of them.
The Doctor is the Doctor with his sonic screwdriver. That is his identity.
Yeah, but that was the whole point in Peter Capaldi, is he was meant to be this rebel Time Lord who didn't conform.
No, bullshit. You do not change the sonic screwdriver. And I'm happy that they realised that and brought it back by the end of the season. So we're back to the screwdriver. I think
the reason why we take such an umbrage with Peter Capaldi and how long it's taken us to warm up with him is because we were incredibly spoiled when we first started watching Doctor Who, because we started off with an incredible first season with Christopher Eccleston, and we got this madcap Doctor who was different than it was like nothing we'd ever seen before. Maybe there was a bit of Tom Baker in him, there was a bit of Colin Baker, there was a bit of Peter Davison. It was just all mashed together, and Christopher Eccleston, this weird northern package. Then we had David Tennant, who was just the best Doctor. I mean, you could ask any person who's played the Doctor and they will say, yeah, that Scottish guy, Tennant, he played a fucking good Doctor. I think that's why we're kind of looking at this going, no, it's not that good. Even Matt Smith, there was a bit of, no, it wasn't that good. I mean, with David Tennant from the get-go, he was fantastic. He got into that character, then you kind of seen the weight that it took on him, having to be his cheery all the time, or his fake cheery on him. And then you got this, the kind of specials that he'd done, the Christmas specials were just magnificent. Him kind of tying up everything with a nice pretty little bow, although not really tying everything up because Jenny wasn't found. Jenny, who, for those who don't know, was the Doctor's clone daughter from another warring planet, but they never really closed that loop because she fucked off in a space pod and was never seen of again. The reason why that happened, she married David Tennant, had a kid, then she said, I'll come back if Russell T Davies writes the episode. Then he left to, I think he might have actually stopped writing altogether, or he's doing some other writing project. But yeah, she didn't want to come back unless Russell T Davies was writing the episode, which I think is fine, because although people say his stuff was very pantomime, it was very predictable, it was still good Doctor Who. It was still exceptional.
Well, yeah, that's what Doctor Who is meant to be. Like, it's a show that's not supposed to take itself too serious. Like, I think that's what shows, especially sci-fi shows in general, have this thought of, oh, we have to be. Like, they don't have this nice middle ground of being a pantomime. Yeah. They're either way too serious or it's a parody. It's like, come on, just get that nice sweet spot. And I think that Russell T Davies and David Tennant had that spectacularly.
They had that nailed down to a T. Like, down to a cross, they had that down.
And then with the other, like, I'm not a Christopher Eccleston fan. Like, I personally wasn't a massive fan of him. I didn't enjoy him. David Tennant, I love. I'll go above and beyond for the guy. Fucking legend. Matt Smith grew on me after the first 5 or 6 episodes. The first 5 or 6 episodes.
It was a season
for me. For me, it was the first 5 or 6 episodes where he was trying to be David Tennant.
Yeah.
And I understand why they were trying to do that. He didn't quite know his role, where he was going, what he was doing. But that second that he walked through the hologram of all the previous Doctors, ending with David Tennant and coming through, it was at that point you knew, or was told in his story, that we now know what type of Doctor you're going to be. And he was more of a fun Doctor, and it was good.
It was a fun Doctor, but people described him as that fun teacher because he knew how to have fun. He knew how to be that kind of like weird kooky guy that would let you away for lunch like an hour and a half early, so you could have 3 hours for your lunch or something. But he knew when to be serious, and he was quite stern and, like I said, teacher-like in that respect. He was a good Doctor. But you were saying that it took you 6 episodes?
About that, yeah.
It took me a full season. It took me longer than I'm proud to admit as a Doctor Who fan, or a Whovian as we're called. It took me a full season to get into like Matt Smith's style. He seemed too awkward and jangly for me for the first season, but he grew on me. Like most of the Doctors grow on me, but Peter Capaldi, he's always had my respect because I'm a thick of it fan. I loved him as Malcolm Tucker. He's done other things like there was a film that he basically played Malcolm Tucker in again, but it was he was set in America and he had to deal with American politics and he was fucking hysterical in it. Huge fan of him in that. And when it came to this, it was disappointing because I'm used to seeing this unhinged Peter Capaldi, who obviously can't swear because he's on the BBC doing what is almost a kids show. I mean, the way I see it, if you can make toys of it, kids can play with it. Kids can watch the TV show.
No, it's a fair estimation of it, I would say. Like I'm not. Like, I've not seen the films that you've seen Capaldi in. For me, you see Peter Capaldi, and I'm immediately going, "Hey, look, Fires of Pompeii. There we go." Yeah. It's like now he's in Doctor Who.
I did like how they addressed that. They said, "I know I have this face. I have this face to remind me that I'm a good man." I like how they closed that loop.
Oh yeah,
brought that back in. That was nice.
Well, for me, that was entirely unexpected. It's like they didn't have to do that. It's not often that a show, especially a sci-fi show, acknowledges that its actor has been in here previously as an extra. Or sorry, it's an extra. It's a character in one episode.
Yeah, I'd say he was a featured extra.
A featured extra, yeah. And then like it's not often that you would bring something like that back. Normally there would be just no tie-ins at all there. Just you're an actor. Here you go. This is your character now. You were this one. You're now this one. Leave it at that.
Well, seeing as we've launched into the kind of TV argument first, I'll use that to kind of leap into talking about DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Again, no secret if you listen to this podcast, I'm a huge fan of the CW's Flash. It's a great show. I'd highly recommend it to you. You're looking for a show that strikes that middle ground between serious and fun. The Flash gets that down to a T. Because on one side he's trying to get the affections of Iris, he's trying to be like one of the lads, but obviously he can't because he's got heightened superhuman metabolism. Alcohol just burns through him. He's just trying to be an everyday forensic scientist. But then you've got the other side when he's taking down metahumans and cracking wise. running insanely fast, and they've got all the other side plots where his mentor turns out, spoilers, his mentor turns out to be the bad guy, Eobard Thawne, who's been manipulating him through the time stream to become the Flash. And that in of itself is one of the best plot twists ever, because Eobard Thawne, the whole point of him coming back in time to kill Barry Allen is because he hates him so much, he despises him so much. His future is the way it is because of Barry Allen, and he thinks, right, I'm going to have the future the way I want it. I'm going to go back in time, I'm going to kill Barry Allen as a kid. But then Barry Allen hears about this, and he travels back in time to stop him. So the two of them have a massive fight, but during that fight, Eobard Thawne thinks, right, if I can't kill him, I'm going to demoralize him. So he kills his mother instead. But in doing so, that sets in motion, or that cancels basically the event that would create the Flash, because I think they make it, if he was going to become the Flash, it happens when he's going out on a walk with his mum. So they cancel it by killing his mum. That's probably not the true story, but I think that's what it is. So he kills his mum. The Flash doesn't happen. So he hears about them building a particle accelerator that says, I can use that to make him the Flash, but that's not going to be built for another 8 years. I'll go there and speed up the process. But in doing so, he can't do that as Eobard Thawne. He hears about a doctor called Harrison Wells who's building the particle accelerator, so he takes over his body through future tech. Yeah, two words you hear about quite often in Flash, and especially Flash and a little bit in Arrow, are future technology and Speed Force, because those four fucking words are basically the plot device for the entire show. How did Barry travel back in time? Speed Force. But he just punched the guy through a wall. Speed Force. It's written into the script. Speed Force.
It's narrative causality.
Yeah,
that's why it's there.
Yeah, the narrator's just shrugging his shoulders going, Speed Force, fucking Speed Force.
It's a superhero.
Yeah.
There you go. No, I have heard, like, personally, I'm more of a Marvel rather than a DC fan.
I'm a filthy hybrid.
You're
I walk,
a filthy hybrid.
I walk both lines. If you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, I take neither the dark or the light. I take the road to dawn. That's a deep cut for any of you Kingdom Hearts fans out there.
No, personally, I'm more Marvel than DC. I'm not averse to DC in any way. I've been told and will get round to watching both Arrow and Flash because I've just been told that they are phenomenal series, and that if I like S.H.I.E.L.D., as the very terrible person I am, apparently I'm not allowed to like that, but if I enjoyed that, I will enjoy both Arrow and Flash as well.
Especially if you like, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is very team-uppy. There's the Inhumans, there's S.H.I.E.L.D., there's the Remnants of S.H.I.E.L.D., there's the True S.H.I.E.L.D. They all kind of come together and fight Hydra on the alien planet and stuff, whatever. In Arrow and Flash, there's a hell of a lot of crossover. Like, Arrow will show up in Central City to give Barry guidance. Barry will show up in Starling City to give Oliver some help with a forensics case or something like that. Or in one episode he's fighting Captain Boomerang, but they don't know it's Captain Boomerang, so he finds the disassembled pieces of his boomerang. He doesn't know what to do with it. He calls in Barry Allen. He reassembles it and says, yeah, you're looking for this dude, I'll help you go find him. Because for some strange reason, a guy with incredible aim and boomerangs can beat a guy with incredible aim and a bow and arrow. Don't know how the fuck that works, but it does. One thing I will say about watching Arrow is season 1, again, first 6 episodes it's kind of slow, but then again, after those 6 episodes you have 17 other episodes of just pure awesome. It gets really good. Season 2 is just fucking phenomenal from the outset. Deathstroke, played by Manu Bennett, who was Azog the Defiler in the Hobbit movie, plays a fantastic Deathstroke. Like, really just fucking gritty, nasty villain who knows how to get to Oliver, or where to strike Oliver to make it hurt, and he does that fantastically, and in the process can almost destroy Starling City with an army of superpowered soldiers, all that wear Deathstroke masks and can punch people through walls and shit. Pretty awesome. Then you get to season 3 and it's too much of a character called Laurel, and if you've read anything about it online, there's the character of Laurel Lance is the Black Canary. Her full name is Dinah Lance. She's meant to be Black Canary from the comic books, from the Justice League cartoon, but the way they're making her in this show is she's so fucking whiny and she's so intolerable, because she always looks at Oliver Queen, saying, why are you not doing all that you can? If you had shot Ra's al Ghul in the face at the start of this, you would never have to do any of this crap, and Sarah would still be alive. Sarah Lance is the original, she's the kind of proto Black Canary. She is trained by the League of Assassins, who's headed up by Ra's al Ghul. She's trained to be the ultimate assassin, but she comes back to Starling City to kind of reconcile with Oliver, kind of start her life anew. But in doing so, she realises Starling City's changed. I need to toughen up, so she becomes the Canary. She is killed by another character in the story, which is a big spoiler. And if you're going to watch the show, leave it at that. Leave it, find out for yourself. She gets killed off, but most of season 3 is just Laurel trying to be her bigger sister. Well, it's her sister anyway. I don't know if it's her older or younger sister, and just failing miserably at it, because Sarah Lance, trained by the League of Assassins. So League of Assassins is not going to be people that sit and knit blankets all day. They are hardcore assassins that use any form of bladed weapon to kick the living fuck out of you and make sure that you know not to cross whoever it is that you've crossed. She's absolute badass. Then you've got Laurel, who is a boxer. She's trained how to box by a former vigilante, who then dies later that episode. So it just kind of bugged me with that. And from the Flash and the Arrow, they set up at the end of season 1 of Flash, and I think season 2, maybe end of season 3 in Arrow, they set up a thing called Legends of Tomorrow, which is a few characters picked from Flash, a few characters picked from Arrow, and a couple of characters that we haven't seen before, all melded together to beat a villain called Vandal Savage. And Vandal Savage is almost kind of on par with Thanos. He's immortal, he's incredibly wealthy, he's stupidly strong because originally he was a caveman, but there was a comet that fell to Earth and he slept beside that comet. The radiation filtered into him, made him immortal, immune to all forms of damage, immune to all forms of like psionic, like tampering. The guy's a badass. But in DC's Legends of Tomorrow, he is trying to find two characters that are, I can't remember the real names, but their superhero names are Hawkman and Hawkgirl. They are basically reincarnated priestesses, or priest and priestesses from like Egyptian era. Oh, they appear in basically every era of time, and basically if Vandal Savage wants to keep living forever, he has to sap their life force. But they will come back again. And he has to feed off them in subsequent timelines.
Yeah, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. He finds them, they get reincarnated, so on and so forth. He does that. Yeah. What is it with superheroes in general that always seem to have this badass that is immortal, but their immortal always has a shit I fucked up clause?
Yeah, he's always got that flaw in him.
It's like, what the hell is going on with that? Like, I get it, it's the cliche, it's the trope, but... Yeah. Come on, guys, put a spin on it, seriously.
But although with Vandal Savage, he kind of started that trope, so it's his fault that everyone else does
great,
it.
It's his fault,
it's
fantastic.
Vandal Savage's fault. And basically the whole crux of Legends of Tomorrow is that these people have been gathered by a character called Rip Hunter, who is played by Arthur Darvill from Doctor Who, but he's been in other things. You can look him up online, it's not that hard. They've been gathered by him because he tells them initially that you're the best of the best. I need you people to go back in time and save this, resolve this issue for me. Because if you don't, my timeline is utter shit. Me and the other Time Masters, we can't fix this. We need your help. You're the best of the best. Can you help me? And they, of course they agree to it, so they split up and go back into each different time, and they just kind of resolve each issue in their respective timelines. But at the end of one of the episodes, I think it might be a character called the Atom, played by Brandon Routh, who was Superman and Superman Returns. He says, "Why did you really pick us? We're quite frankly nobody." And he says, "Okay, I'll level with you. The reason why I chose you," and it was such a fucking good line, "the reason why I chose you is because you have absolutely no bearing on the time stream. If you die, no one cares." And I was just like, holy shit, nowhere in Marvel would they have the balls to blatantly say to 5 big name superheroes, yeah, you guys are nothing. If you guys die, they'll just make another one. I thought, holy shit, DC have stepped up. I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2 ending was fucking phenomenal. Better than Age of Ultron for me, but the Legends of Tomorrow just way up there. Took the steps and jumped over them. It absolutely killed it. And the fact that Arthur Darvill delivers it so dryly, without obviously to him it doesn't really mean much, but to them it's their life. Because Ray Palmer, he builds the Atom suit, he thinks he's doing something. Sarah Lance, she thinks he's coming back for a reason. The two criminals, Captain Cold and Firestorm, they think they're being reformed and they're getting molded into superheroes. Hawkman and Hawkgirl, redemption for their past sins. Firestorm, he's a kid that was basically a street urchin. He thinks, I'm going to do something good. He becomes Firestorm. All these people think they're doing good, have just been dashed. And I thought, that is fucking genius. Absolutely fucking golden.
No, that's definitely a low blow, man. Like, that's how you make your characters feel like shit. I have to wonder though, right? Is the Hawkgirl the same Hawkgirl that I'm thinking of, as in Justice League Hawkgirl?
Yeah, Justice League Hawkgirl. But obviously through the new 52, they've changed their story dramatically.
Which I would expect. It's the same idea as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's the DC equivalent of this. They're doing their own TV and cinematic universe. It takes material from the comics, but it doesn't have to follow them. The end goal here, I'm assuming, is to make the Justice League, correct?
Yeah, the main point of these TV shows is to make a TV Justice League, because they'll have their big main Justice League in the movies. Unlike Marvel, who are tying everything together, fucking perfectly, I might say. I've edited that part. Unlike Marvel, who tie everything together, a nice big pretty bow, and they make it look damn good while doing it. DC are keeping things separately, so they have their TV Flash and their TV Green Arrow. Then they'll have their on-screen Flash and their on-screen Green Arrow, and that's why you won't see characters like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and maybe Green Lantern on the small screen, because they're saving their big guns for the TV, for the movies, which I understand. But at the same time, the Flash on the TV show is so good at the Flash, so good at being the Flash, and the guy that's playing Oliver Queen, if you lightened it up a bit, because Oliver Queen is basically, he's like a Spider-Man level of jackass. He's good at his job, he can fight with the best of them, he can shoot with the best of them. He's up there with the rest of the Justice League, but he's always cracking wise while doing it. He's always making some kind of funny joke. But in the Arrow, they've tried to make him too much like Batman, because the original plan, I think, for Arrow was they wanted to do something with Batman, but then they said, no, we're making Batman versus Superman and a whole other Batman films. Is there any other character that would fit those storylines? So they went, sure, we'll make an Arrow TV series, we'll use those for Arrow. Which, again, it's not bad, it's not a bad thing on paper, but when you're watching it and you're a huge Batman fan like I am, I'm currently sitting wearing a Batman t-shirt, I have several Batman comics, every Batman film perceivable on DVD and Blu-ray. You're just sitting thinking, if they're going to do a Batman a themed story, or Batman story based around Batman characters and scenarios, why not just give us a Batman TV show? And not Gotham, because Gotham is fucking dog shit. I will worship everything that the CW put out, as long as it has a DC logo in it and it's got Flash or Green Arrow in it. But DC's Gotham TV show is absolutely bollocks, because everything is about setting up the big main bad guys for Batman to fight, but they do it in such a cheesy way. Because one of the main villains in the Arkham series is a character called Firefly, and as you expect, he's got a jetpack, flamethrower, he's either a former pyrotechnician or a former firefighter, one of the two, and he just loves fire, and his big crime is to set things on fire. But in Gotham, instead of having Garfield Lynns, who is the main Firefly, they had something like Martha Lynns, who is Firefly's mum. I'm just thinking it reads like bad fan fiction at times, and I watched the whole series within about a week just to get it over and done with it, and at the end of it, I had 3 takeaways from it. One, they needed a time skip to make it even work, because young Bruce Wayne is a pain in the dick. Then we have Jim Gordon. They need to give him the mustache, otherwise he doesn't like Jim Gordon. And 3, they need to make it a Villain of the Week show, which they have done in subsequent series, or the following series. They've made it a Villain of the Week show. It can make it just seem a bit better, but at the same time, by making it a Villain of the Week show, it makes all the cop stuff seem like you're drudging through a story to get to the actual good part, which not really. I think they need to incorporate both the cop show, because it's not the backstory of Batman, it's the backstory of Jim Gordon. And if they take it and worship that and make that the crux of the show, it'd be so much better than just, here's kid Bruce Wayne, he's a wee bit fucked up. Obviously you would be if your parents died in front of you, but I'm not invested in the character of kid Bruce Wayne. I'm more invested in the character of Jim Gordon and the character of Harvey Bullock and Detective. I was invested in Captain Essen, but she gets killed in season 2, so it didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense to me, because Captain Essen in the comic books is a fairly big part of Jim Gordon's backstory, because he has an affair with I think she's Detective Essen in the comic books. They made her Captain Essen in this. They've probably just seen a name, tried to reuse a character type thing. But in the comic books, he has an affair with Sarah Essen, who's a fellow detective, and that's what kind of leads into Jim Gordon's wife disappearing, who I think also might have been called Barbara Gordon. She disappears and she takes their son, James Gordon Jr., with them, and basically Jim Gordon gets left with him and Kid Barbara, and obviously, as we know, Barbara becomes Batgirl. I thought if they incorporate that, that'd be pretty cool. Or have at some point Jim Gordon say, I'm going to be a dad, and then it's baby Barbara Gordon. That'd be pretty cool. Just give us more about Jim Gordon, less about these proto-shitty fucking Batman villains. Just give us more about Jim Gordon cracking down on any of the street gangs in Gotham, like the fucking Falcons, the fucking... shit the bed, I should remember this. The Falcons, the Russians, and the fucking Triads. Just any of the street gangs in Gotham. Show us Jim Gordon working like an 80-hour week, going home to a wife and potentially a kid, then he getting the phone call, oh yeah, some kid named Bruce Wayne's parents died, you need to go and investigate it. Have the Bruce Wayne stuff being the backstory, then have the spine of the show, Jim Gordon cracking down and basically cleaning up Gotham like he did in comics like Batman Year One and any of the early Batman comics. They'd done that, it'd be fine. I've talked about Gotham for so damn long, I can't remember what my original point was.
The original...
That happens, by the way. Apologies for me here at the Gibberpish podcast. If you have any complaints about the way I do things, or if you just want to say anything, you want to say, hey Dom, what you said about Gotham was shit, you can reach us at gibberpish@outlook.com. I'll read your email probably in college, when I shouldn't really, and you can reach us at Twitter at Gibberpish. Again, it'll probably be me that answers your questions. Yeah, just shoot us a question, or if you want to give us any feedback, you can go through those channels.
Fair enough. Your original point was discussing how the DC side are keeping their cinematic universe separate from their TV universe.
I think, actually, now that I realise it, I think they're doing that as a ploy. They've made Gotham deliberately shit so people's expectations are lowered a bit for Batman vs Superman. Then when it comes out, because I don't care what anybody says, it's going to be a fucking phenomenal movie. So people will go see it with low expectations, and all of a sudden they'll watch it and they'll see Ben Affleck, who's been pegged as being the quintessential Batman by quite a few sources. They'll just see him, and they'll see Henry Cavill, who's not that bad a Superman, despite how bad people thought Man of Steel was. I thought it was pretty good, to be honest, but then again, I'm a comics fanboy. And people will just think, holy shit, that was the best fucking movie ever. It's never going to be on Avengers level. It'll make Avengers money. It's never going to be on the level of Avengers. Like, it'll be a good movie, but it'll just be always that like 0.5% behind. Like, now I say it's going to be better than Age of Ultron, because Age of Ultron wasn't that great. still good. I mean, I went to see it 3 times, but it's never going to be in the level of Avengers Assemble over here. Never going to be anything like
Unlikely. Probably not going to be the same as Civil War. Come on. Ooh, Civil War. I'm looking forward to that. I
actually got in a bit of trouble with Civil
Oh,
War.
no.
Right. I was talking to some of my friends at college. There was Lassie, obviously I'm not going to name names, trying to keep everything anonymous here. She asked me, oh, right, you're into comic book. Apparently, what happens in Civil War? I said, do you want the comic book explanation or do you want me to explain the movie? And I said, I'll do both. And I explained the movie, so I explained the comic books and I explained the movie. And she went, alright, that's going to be so awesome. And she said, oh, but you said somebody dies. Can you tell me who it is? And I said, you really don't want me to say that? It's like, oh, come on, just tell me. It won't happen in the book. It won't happen in the movie anyway. And I said, oh, Captain America dies. And the way they've pegged it in the movie, it looks like he's going to die as well. And she just looked at me like disappointed, looked like she was going to start crying. She's like, why would you tell me that? Because you asked me to. I spoiled. It's not a spoiler for me because just every time you look at that movie, you just think Cap's on a time limit. Because the way I see it, I think he's going to have to either do something incredibly drastic or hand himself over to the authorities to get Bucky exonerated, to get Bucky free of this crime that he's been charged with. I think Captain America is going to have to do the ultimate sacrifice thing. Well, if I'm what's caused it, if I'm the reason behind it, fuck it, I'll just remove myself. Because Cap's always been about making the big sacrifice, doing the good deed, fighting the good fight, all that shit. But I think in the movie, Cap's going to die. And that's my thoughts on that film. It's going to be Cap or Iron Man.
Oh, I mean,
face that.
I'm in Camp Iron Man all the time, and like going away from the whole comic books and the whole story of the thing, and bringing, unfortunately, the boring movie politics into it. They could turn around and say it's Iron Man that's going to get rid of Robert Downey Jr. from the payroll, which may happen because he has done his 3 films and his cameos.
He was actually put down for 4 Iron Man films originally, so he still has 1 film left to do, but apparently he's worked out some deal with it's been fulfilled that he's done all the Iron Man movies that he needs to. He's only going to show up in the Avengers movies now. So Iron Man 4, if and when it comes out, is going to be something completely different. Like, I don't know what the hell it is, because as far as I know, other people might know differently, Iron Man has only ever been Tony Stark. There was a brief point when Iron Man was Rhodey, War Machine, but it's never really been anybody else but Tony Stark in the kind of main canon of the comic books. Well,
yeah, it's always got to be Tony Stark, and for me, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. He is Tony Stark.
Unless they do it like James Bond and just have a different actor in every sort.
I would hate that. I really would. Like, that's just me personally. It's a case of they brought Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. to life. He is my Iron Man.
Yeah.
End of story on that. And it's like, thinking about it, like they could do that to get rid of him if that's what they were planning.
I don't think Marvel want to get rid of him. He wants to try something new because he's been playing Iron Man since 2007, maybe even 2009. It's still been at least 7 odd years. He's been playing the same character. It's been his most recognisable role. People have forgot about all his other things and just want solely his Iron Man input. But at the same time, it's probably been being associated with Disney and the time frame and the work that's going into making all these movies, alongside whatever else he gets, because obviously he'll be making his Marvel films, but just he'll do other films. Like if another due date or something shows up and he wants to go and do a comedy with somebody else, he's got to do that after his Marvel film, which I think it's just got to be a tremendous strain, because these are big production. He's got to be doing green screen and mocap for at least 12, maybe 14 hours a day, just constant work. It's got to be pretty great on him. I can only imagine that if he wanted to get away from it, he would give us one like big awesome send-off. So I think if he is going to leave after Civil War, his performance in Civil War is going to be pretty fucking good.
Well, I'm hoping that would be the case. I suppose the only thing that would confirm or deny anything along that lines, and you will know because you're a Marvel comic nut, Infinity War.
What?
Is Iron Man there?
Yeah,
and
everybody's there.
And in that case, then I'm talking bullshit, and they probably will keep Robert Downey Jr. I hope, because Iron Man is needed for the Infinity War, and we know that's what we're building up to. Well, that's the 2017 finale, or is it the 2019?
Well, the first one comes out in 2017.
Yeah, the second one's 2019, is it not?
Or maybe 2018, 2019, because I don't see them putting 2 years between a movie.
Depends how much they actually get done of it, but that's the big finale. Like that. Well, I say
that's
the big
finale of Phase 4.
3.
Phase 3 even. Yeah.
Phase 4, and I've heard there's a Phase 5.
No, they've planned all the way up to like Phase 8. Obviously, I think it's like Phase 6 or something. They've planned ahead because they're going to do this. They're going to do the Infinity War Part 1 and 2. Then I think they're going to leave it for a while, let it settle, let the dust settle from Infinity War. Then they're going to do the new Avengers, and that is going to be the likes of shouldn't. I'm more of a Justice League fan when it comes to big team up things, but the new Avengers will be obviously there'll be the new Captain America, probably filled in by Bucky because he becomes Captain America when Cap dies. There'll be James Rhodes probably as Iron Man. Spider-Man will be in there. Wolverine will be in there hopefully, but obviously it won't be Wolverine. They'll probably have Black Bolt because Black Bolt, who's one of the Inhumans, they kind of took the reins over from the X-Men comics and kind of Agency S.H.I.E.L.D. just because they couldn't use X-Men in themselves. So, right, you're going to be our Wolverine or you're going to be our Cyclops because no one else can really fill that mutant role, so we're just going to have you as an Inhuman.
Well, that's what I was actually going to say. The end of Phase 3 isn't actually Infinity War, it's Inhumans.
Ah, that's true, actually.
It is Inhumans that finishes Phase 3.
Yeah.
And for those of us that are watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now, we already know the Inhumans are there.
Yeah.
Daisy has her power.
I was about to say, isn't she one of the Inhumans?
Daisy is an Inhuman. She has her power. She has her Quake power, her Sonic powers, or whatever you wish to call them.
I'm still so used to her being Sky.
I
still call her Sky.
I got over that quite fast, simply because anytime somebody mentioned Sky, her character basically went, it's Daisy every time. Like, seriously, like clockwork. You would think maybe once or twice at key moments she would mention that. No, every time it was, no, it's Daisy, and it just gets drilled into you. Yeah. So we do have them coming in. Obviously, with the end of the latest season of S.H.I.E.L.D., we have Grant Ward becoming his super zombified, decrepit corpse coming back to life. So
yeah, I heard he was taking a bigger role in the show because apparently at the end of season 2 when I left it off, he wasn't really that big a part of it. Then it came to season 3 and apparently he is almost the big bad of the series.
It ends at season 3 with him being the big bad. Yeah. Hydra send them off to a far-long planet.
Yeah,
and he gets killed, and the alien basically says, "Right, I'm taking this guy as my host," and it's coming back. I'm trying to think what it's going to be.
That would be a genius way to introduce symbiotes. And actually, they could introduce symbiotes because they have Spider-Man.
But
that'd be fucking genius.
Symbiotes need living hosts. No,
they just need a host. They can bring that host back to life.
Well, there you go then. That could be them bringing in symbiotes. Incoming Carnage?
Nah, it'd be Venom.
Venom Carnage.
Venom spawns Carnage, and then Carnage spawns 5 other individual symbiotes that all want to kill Venom and Carnage. But at that point, Venom kind of becomes an anti-hero, and then later the hero. Then Carnage becomes just this fucking huge wave of destruction, destroying everybody and eventually taking over Galactus.
Lovely.
So Carnage and Galactus is 2 of the most evil entities in the Marvel Universe. Smushed them together.
Smushed into one. Lovely. But no, so that's like, it's going to be interesting watching the latest season when it starts here. I think, and I'm praying that it's within the next 3 months. I believe we've got Agent Carter next, unfortunately.
Yeah. Have you watched Agent Carter?
Agent Carter's actually good. I say unfortunately they are in jest. I love Agent Carter. I like the fact that we have the Captain America series, and we've managed to take Agent Carter from this and make a pretty damn good TV show out of it.
Yeah, because she's a big character in the movie universe. I've never, like Peggy Carter, I've not really read into much of the Captain America backstory because he's just too red, white and blue for me. He's too cookie cutter.
Yeah.
He's too patriotic. But I've always kind of like in the movies how she's the strong, independent woman. She kicks ass. She can break your spine using nothing but the palm of her hand. Pretty badass. Not to mention the fact that Haley Atwell is fucking gorgeous. That red dress in Captain America, the first Avenger, is awesome. But I quite like the fact that they've just said, right, who else can we make a show about? Right, we want to do something Captain America themed based back in the 70s. Fuck it, she was pretty good. We're going to give her a show. And quite frankly, I think it works because I watched 4 episodes of season 1 and just how they set everything up. It's not, you're Baron Zemo, you were one of Captain America's villains, and because it's set back then, there's no reference to the bigger Marvel universe. They dropped Steve Rogers' name a few times. It was a big event back then. They're going to talk about it. And obviously, Peggy Carter's still kind of fawning over Steve Rogers because she doesn't know where he is. He's frozen at the bottom of a lake somewhere. So it makes sense for them to introduce Steve Rogers, but it pleased me so much not to have them constantly go, oh, the Tesseract, you mean that thing that a guy's using for a paperweight? It pleased me so much to get rid of those unnecessary quotes constantly. Yeah,
no, it's a great show that they've brought in here. I like the fact, like you're saying, it's based back in the 70s. But it doesn't feel like it. It's still got that Marvel sci-fi feel to it. It's almost a modern TV show, and it's done really well.
It feels very modern. It doesn't feel old-timey in the sense that you feel very bored. It's like, oh, here it's going to take them half an hour to get a radio signal. It's going to be boring as shit. But no, everything, all the intelligence stuff, them gathering intelligence, is done in a way that you're invested in the character. And the episodes with the Howling Commandos with like Dum Dum Dugan, I was like, fucking, I've been wanting this for so long, because the Howling Commandos in the comic books are so fucking funny, and they're so good characters. And you've got Neil McDonough, or Neil Donahue, whatever the hell his name is, the guy that plays, he's also in Arrow, he plays Damien Dark, fantastic actor. He's the voice of Green Arrow and quite a lot of the DC animated stuff. Guy's a fantastic actor, and when he's playing Dum Dum Dugan, he's hysterical. He was in the first Avenger, and he was in the episode Agent Carter that was. So more of the Howling Commandos would not be a bad thing. And I've been told that they're going to build up to eventually having Nick Fury in Agent Carter as it gets more and more towards modernity.
Yeah.
So we might see like a two-eyed Nick Fury before he gets his eye patch. So we could maybe see what happened to his eye, and I think that'd be pretty cool. Anything that would give us more backstory of why these characters are hard-nosed bastards and why they don't really trust anybody. Because right now we're just to kind of accept that Nick Fury is a badass. Sure, he's got impeccable aim for a guy with one eye, and sure, he commands the respect of super soldiers, gods, and guys in giant like mechanical suits, and a guy who has such a rage problem that he turns green and can destroy entire buildings with his pinky. But anything that would explain why he's like that would be fucking worth its weight in gold to me.
Well, there we go. Because you know what they've done. It's that you get your season of S.H.I.E.L.D., you get your season of Agent Carter, rinse, repeat. It keeps doing those loops, and as long as they keep them going, which I foresee as long as they keep planning on doing these tie-ins to the cinematic universe, more for me. For me.
The only thing I could see maybe them stopping is Agent Carter is finite because we've already seen her death.
Yes,
We've already seen her
death
decline
is
in
finite.
mental health. We've already seen Steve Rogers sit at her bedside. Her story is kind of finite, but if they keep it going up until then and show us her, like she's been in the war, show us her maybe in peacetime where there's nothing happened, she's just got to sit there going, well, I'm useless now, what do I do? Then kind of the more aggressive Peggy Carter, when S.H.I.E.L.D. gets formed and when she forms the Red Room that basically kind of kickstarts that super soldier or that secret spy program for Black Widow. And all those people just keep showing us more and more and more, like more connectors for the Marvel Universe. And then you've got other TV shows. Have you watched Daredevil?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, that's such a different tune.
Daredevil,
so gritty and great.
Right, Daredevil was fucking great. Have you seen Jessica Jones?
I need to watch that.
Watch Jessica Jones because I don't find Kristen Ritter attractive. Based on that show, I'd give her one. She's fucking badass. Everything about it's the same with Daredevil. Everything about that show was just it fit. And again, if you listen to this podcast, I have waxed lyrical about this for maybe about 40 minutes straight when it first came out. The casting of Daredevil, Charlie Cox, great Daredevil. Ben Affleck, he was a good Daredevil, but he's going to be a better Batman. Charlie Cox is fucking Daredevil as far as I'm aware. The guy that plays Foggy Nelson is outstanding. The chick that plays Karen Page, great. Wilson fucking Fisk, best casting of any supervillain fucking ever. Fantastic casting. If he wasn't Kingpin, I'd peg him to be Lex Luthor. Maybe if he lost a bit of weight, because Lex Luthor's never really been fat like Kingpin. But he could easily play Lex Luthor if he kind of toned his accent a bit, because whereas Wilson Fisk was very kind of dumb-spoken, or not quite dumb-spoken, he spoke with a very clear American accent. Lex Luthor had almost a kind of authority and a bit of a kind of noble aspect to his voice. He could easily play that. And then you've got the villains in it, like Madame Gao, who's meant to be from Kunlun, which sets up Iron Fist. Fucking perfect. Everything about this damn show was just expertly crafted, expertly executed. There was a few episodes where you're thinking, right, okay, fast forward, I'm not going to really care about this. But then you go from season 1 episode 1 when it's really good, and you get that absolutely brilliant shot in episode 2 with the single shot fight scene when he's just beating the crap out of a guy. And then it moves on to you meeting Claire Temple, played by Rosario Dawson, who is just expert at that fucking role she plays. She's just like, right, you guys are a bunch of super mutants, it's my duty of care as a nurse to heal you, but apart from that, I don't want any of your weird shit. And then you watch Jessica Jones, she shows up in that, and Luke Cage, who's he's got steel skin, so nothing can pierce him, but he gets he shoots himself in the chin with a shotgun, and that knocks him out. He's got bits of shrapnel and stuff embedded in his skin, but they can't get it out with a scalpel, so he goes, ah shit, what the hell am I going to do? I know someone that could help us. And then Claire Temple shows up in that, and that to me was going to set up how Daredevil would show up in Jessica Jones, but they done it in kind of way of, nah, we'll save your friend for later, I can deal with this guy myself. And another thing about Jessica Jones, the best villain like ever. David Tennant playing the Purple Man was fucking meant to be. He's genuinely terrifying at points. He makes you feel for him at points, because there's a bit in it where he's being detained and he's trying to plead with someone to let him out, because I think there's something that's dampening his powers. It's some weird medication. It's a sedative, but instead of sedating him, making him fall asleep, it sedates his powers, so he can't use his powers of deception on people. And he's saying, please let me out, they're holding me against as well. And at that point you're sitting thinking, let him out, he's just a good guy, then you remember, holy shit, he's the devil himself. Aye, Jessica Jones, I could not recommend that enough. Then we've got more characters like Iron Fist and Luke Cage is getting his own series, and we're getting a Daredevil season 2 with the Punisher put in it. One of our friends will be shooting all over the wall as soon as he hears this, but they're bringing all that in, which means we might get we're getting a Defenders movie, but we might get the Defenders showing up in a Marvel film, which could be fucking great, because I genuinely want to see Daredevil, played by Charlie Cox, throw down with Captain America like he did in the comics. I think it'd be fucking great.
You've opened up branches of the cinematic universe here that I didn't even know could potentially exist. It's like, oh, yeah. Shit, man. But do you know what? There's all this stuff saying, how could Daredevil fit into the Marvel universe? Easy. The Battle of New York, or there's going to be another battle based in New York. Hopefully, it'll probably be a Civil War. Then there's just a call in for every superhero just to kind of take arms. Daredevil is based in Hell's Kitchen, so is Jessica Jones, so is Luke Cage. They would join in the fight. It would naturally progress into them joining the fight. They're in New York trying to deal with the Sokovia Accords that makes it used to be the Hero Registration Act, but they've changed it to the Sokovia Accords to kind of better fit in with the Age of Ultron movie, which is fine. They're using what assets they have. As long as they're not relying too heavy on the books, I'm fucking okay with it. But yeah, it would make sense to me if they just think, they're destroying our homeland. Fuck it, I'm going to go kick some superhuman ass, and then I'm going to go back and do my paperwork because I have a case to present them on. I prefer the street level version of these superheroes as opposed to Iron Man and Captain America, who are all like so big for these roles that I don't think, like you said, Robert Downey Jr. stepping away would really work, because they've made him so big, and the only person that could really play that well is Robert Downey Jr. If somebody else steps into that shoes, they'll probably do a muted version, and it wouldn't really work. So I think to keep these characters as big and as grandiose as they are, they would need to keep it the same. But in doing so, it shows how better these street level characters are for a TV show, because everything is relatable. Because in episode 2 of Daredevil, he's beating these guys up, but he's been wounded, so he's staggering about the place. It's taking him a few more hits to take these guys down. Just to me, it seems a bit more relatable, and if they tie that into the bigger movie universe, it's a bigger payoff for fans like me, because it shows that Marvel are paying attention to us. It shows them that they actually want to incorporate everything, unlike DC, who are just giving us little bits and pieces here and there. Like another thing I always want to talk about here. I did want to talk about it after the Legends of Tomorrow thing, but tirades happen. We've been talking for like almost an hour now. These things tend to happen. We get caught on subjects, and then we will get to gaming soon, I promise. But we get caught in tirades and two different things. But the other thing I wanted to talk about related to DC was they've done a thing called, it was either Birth of Justice or Dawn of Justice. It was a TV special, and it basically showed what every character in the Justice League is going to be doing. They showed off more Batman, more Superman for the Batman vs Superman thing. They showed us a clip from the Wonder Woman movie, which looks pretty good. I think they're pegging it to be the kind of Captain America, except she didn't go into the water and freeze and wake up 70 years later. She lived through everything. She's lived through wars, and she's lived through like all different kinds of atrocities, and I'm quite glad that they're going for the more nurse type Wonder Woman. I get that it's a bit subservient and people say, oh, it's sexist, she should be a warrior. That was always the good point about Wonder Woman. She was very caring, she was very affectionate, she loved her fellow man. Her whole purpose is to defend the realm of man, and in later comic books she just wanted to kill anyone that even looked at her the wrong way. But I'm glad they're kind of taking it back, showing us the more affectionate, more like caring version of Wonder Woman, and the fact that it's Gal Gadot is just making me feel very, very happy, because to cast someone like Wonder Woman, you need a very, very hot woman, and they got one. She looks like Wonder Woman to me. There's people saying that she's a bit too skinny, but I'm fine with it. Wonder Woman's not meant to be ridiculously huge and bulky. She's meant to look like the perfect woman, because she's a god made out of fucking clay. She's meant to be the perfect woman. So if they made her a bit more slender, like obviously still with a bit of like tonnage and a bit of muscle to her, that's fine. I don't know why people are complaining about it. But apart from they showed us a bit about Wonder Woman, then they went on to show us a bit about Aquaman with Jason Momoa, who was Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones. For those who don't know, just turn off the podcast now. You don't even fucking deserve to be listening to this podcast right now if you don't know who Khal Drogo is. Obviously, please continue listening, because we don't have that many followers. So it's a bit about he's laughing. It's true. Gotta start somewhere. Although I'll bring in some fans for it. Jason Momoa, aka Stargate Atlantis. There you go.
I completely forgot about that.
There you go.
That's why you have James Kirk at the other side of the microphone. He remembers geeky shit that you don't. Yeah, Jason Momoa as Aquaman. He looks pretty fucking cool. They're going for a different direction. They're saying, oh, we could have went with a guy who looks like the traditional Aquaman with the goatee and the blonde hair and the weird like goldfish suit. But no, they went for really, really badass looking Aquaman with the Polynesian style tattoos and the trident. It's not really a trident because it's got 6 spears on it. I think it looks pretty fucking cool. I don't care if there's I wager that the seas are going to be as clean as they ever have been, because Aquaman isn't a skinny little surfer dude anymore. He's Jason fucking Momoa. No one's going to mess with him anymore. No one's going to fuck with his oceans. He has narwhals that will stab you in the face. Then we went from Aquaman to the Flash, whereas with the big warning lights started flashing in my head. The character that they've got to play the Flash genuinely needs to phone Grant Gustin, who's playing Barry Allen in the Flash TV show, and say, how do I do it? Because his plan for the Flash, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. He says he's going to play the Flash. He's going to play a very down-to-earth character. He's not going to crack as many jokes. He's just going to be a good superhero. No, he needs to crack jokes. That's all. That's what the Flash is. He's the fastest man alive, and that doesn't relate to just his speed. It relates to his wit, because he's one of the wittier members. He likes to crack a few jokes. He's one of the fun members of the team. Then you give us this kid. I think his name is Ezra Miller. I don't know what the hell else he's been in. Apparently, he's been in a few romantic comedies. Don't really care. If DC are saying that he's going to, DC and Warner Brothers are saying that he's going to be a good Flash, that's fine. I'll agree with it. But just the way he's going to play the character, I don't really like it. And the suit, for me, the Flash has always got to have this unburdened suit. It's obviously got to be friction resistant because he's running at Mach 5. But giving him this armor plated kind of look. You remember the original Power Rangers movie, right?
Yep.
Where they had the suits, but it was all padded and it looked like weird kind of Nerf armor. They've given him a suit like that. It doesn't really work.
No, like you said, he's running at Mach 5 here. He has to compete with friction, aerodynamics, blah blah blah. The guy should be running around in his red spandex outfit, going as fast as he fucking can.
Yeah, pretty much. And he said, oh, there's a surprise for people. Apparently, he said that there was going to be a surprise for fans, that he's going to play the Flash a little bit differently. He's going to play the Flash. Apparently, he's going to play the Flash as gay. Again, I don't really care about it. Each to their own. But at the same time, I am of the kind of thought process. I grew up reading Batman comics. I grew up reading Superman comics. Superman, he's the big American hero. He needs to get the hot woman at the end. Batman, he's very stoic. He needs to be alone. I don't really like bringing sexuality into comic books.
It's not got a place.
I wouldn't really say it doesn't have a place. It has a place in certain comic books. Like Spider-Man needs his Mary Jane.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And
right. Okay. Hold on. Actual sexual orientation itself in comic books is irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. This guy trying to bring the twist in the Flash, it's pointless. Like, leave it, mate.
It's going to alienate a lot more fans than it's going to bring in.
He's thinking too much at that point. Give him a slap in the head and tell him to start running.
If he's been told to play it gay to bring in the kind of LGBT community, it's a risky move. You're going to bring in them, but you're going to alienate a lot more of your other fans, because they're used to Barry Allen is meant to go with Iris Allen West, or Iris West Allen, not Ian or Ian West. It doesn't make sense. You need to have these characters have the female love interest. They then turn that on its head and say, yeah, then Barry's gay. Well, in fact, actually, now I'm thinking about it, they didn't even say they were going to use Barry. But if they're going with Wally West, he needs to have his Linda Park. And if they're going with Bart Allen, he has his own love interest back in the future. And if they go with, there was another Flash, I can't remember. If they go with Jay Garrick, he has his wife. These are predetermined comic book characters. I'm not being like the man, like the word, the man, the gospel, all that shit. I'm not saying that these characters need to be straight because that's what we honest working insert nation here need. I'm not saying that. I'm just, you're going to piss off a lot of fans if you turn around and say, oh yeah, Barry Allen or whatever Flash we decided to go with is gay. Batman's a hermaphrodite and Aquaman has 3 penises. What are you going to do? It's just DC trying to keep up with the fact that the Marvel universe introduced gay characters, but they just went, oh yeah, he's gay. Then everyone got on with it. That was it. And that was fine because they didn't hit upon it, but it's just the way he said, I'm going to play the Flash as gay. It seemed like that was his whole thought process behind it, or that was his whole way into the characters. Like, I'm going to play him as gay. I've played gay characters before. It just didn't really fit to me. Again, I'm all for equality, each to their own. If you want to date a man, you date a man. If you want to date a woman, you date a woman. I couldn't give a shit. Just keep sexuality out of comic books. To me, it does not fit. And
it's a play. The characters have their own. Here we go. Let's go full cheese. The characters have their destiny. Who they are ending up with. That's not something that can be rewritten, regardless if you're doing a rewrite, a reboot, a reworking, a reimagination, or whatever.
Yeah, the core aspects of these characters always stay the same, because they're never going to do a Superman reboot and all of a sudden Lois Lane is now Liam Lane. They're never going to do that because it's tried and true that Superman and Lois Lane are like a part of it. Batman, if in the odd occasion that he does have a love interest, it will always be either Selena Kyle or Talia al Ghul. It will always be one of those two. Robin will always go with Coriander, Starfire. I hated the Teen Titans. It was so bad. Like,
Teen Titans.
They took one of the best characters, being Dick Grayson Robin, and made him a little bitch.
Oh, I'm sorry, but Teen Titans, man, that shit is glorious.
Fair enough, some people like that. I'm not going to shit on anybody good times, but keep sexuality out of comic books. If you want to try and do it as a cool little hook in the character, don't make it the entire like emphasis behind your thought process into the character, and we'll be golden.
Make it a knowledge bomb, not a plot bomb. Little knowledge bomb. Doof, there you go. You know more about the character. Not damn. Here's the plot.
Yeah, we need kind of.
Little bit.
Yeah, just like this character is gay. We don't need to hit you over the head with it. We don't need to stab you in the chest with it, with like a giant golden sword. We don't need that. We don't need that like bullet to the head, like emphasis on it. Like this character is gay. Just have it like slid in there nice and neatly.
Well, sticking on the subject of DC then, obviously we're 2016. We're February 2016. We've got there. What do you think of the fact that Arkham Knight was deemed the glitchiest and worst handled game of 2015?
As a console gamer, this does not affect me one iota. I bought the game, I bought the season pass, I played the living fuck out of that game because Kevin Conroy is at this point my childhood. I watched Batman animated series, I watched the new adventures of Batman and Robin, I watched Batman Beyond, I watched all that shit. Anything that had Kevin Conroy voicing Batman in it, I watched it. So when I found out he was going to do games, I was a bit trepidatious because superhero games don't really work. Then it was glorious. Then we got Arkham Knight, which was just such, like, on every cylinder this was firing. The ending was, in fact, no, I'm going to say the ending was pretty awesome. It just ended on a high note that Batman isn't a person, he's an idea. He is a thought. He is necessary. Batman doesn't need to be in Gotham. Gotham needs Batman to be a focal point in Gotham. And then I seen all the shit with the PC version. I'm just thinking, okay, I'm so fucking glad I got this in the PS4. I say I got it on the PS4. My brother bought a PS4 and I played it, but I still count.
Fair enough. Now I was enjoying the top 10 list of most glitchiest games of 2015 and seeing Arkham Knight at the top there. Like
it was pretty glitchy on the PC. Even on the Xbox, apparently, it was pretty glitchy.
It's just the fact that the game itself got to the point of where they pulled it from Steam. They pulled a AAA title off Steam and were offering full refunds until the patch came out. And the patch took months.
And the patch didn't fix any of it, so they just went, screw it, full refunds, we're taking this off Steam altogether.
Well, no, I'm meaning after they took it off and done the refunds, like they were fixing up the game, and it took them months. And I'm just sitting there going, it's like, I don't care about the whole PCMR, console versus blah blah blah, I'm a collector, I have everything. As Dom says, I have way more shit than a 25-year-old should have. But it's like, fuck me, how can you blow something that hard? And just, it's like you screwed the pooch on that one.
Yeah, definitely screwed the pooch.
But anyway, now that we are into 2016, we are in...
We have the good fortune of having an extreme myriad of new games coming out. And despite James's best effort to taunt me with Arkham Knight, I am now going to turn that on him and taunt him by saying, James Kerr, what version of Dark Souls 3 are you going to buy?
I fucking hate you. What version of Dark Souls? I don't know. Unfortunately, From Software have had massive success with their Souls franchise, and they gave us Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2 Collector's Edition, Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, and I have even Demon Souls, the game that started it all, and I have the collector's / limited editions of them all. I love my statue, I think it's fucking glorious, but Dark Souls 3, I've decided we're going to have 2 editions. In fact, no, we're going to have 3 editions. Your standard Steelbook edition with whatever fancy stuff we can add to keep it on the cheap. Then you've got your standard statue edition, same size as the Dark Souls 2 one. It's a statue of the Red Knight. It looks very nice. It's fucking great. Then you have the collector's edition with the Lord of Cinder, and he's fucking massive. It's like, which version am I going to get now? Like, am I having to buy 2 copies of this game?
Let's be serious. You will probably end up buying more than 1 copy just to get all of them. You will probably buy both of the statue editions just to get the statue.
Honestly, I hope I don't. I have enough games coming out this year. Even those that aren't even announced with a release date yet. Yeah. And I'm just, it's like, damn, which ones am I going to get? But right now, obviously, Lord of Cinder, because it's the Lord of fucking Cinder. But
I will pretend to know who that character is.
Well, the thing is, we don't know much of him.
I don't know anything about the Dark Souls franchise.
You need to bloody play them.
I don't have the time. I work 2 jobs and I'm at college.
No excuse, I work my job. But yeah.
2 jobs and college, motherfucker.
Up yours. But no, it's definitely going to be something that like when the prices are their fair prices, I will give them that. If I can save for both, I will. I hate the fact you've called me out on it, but there you go.
Well, you tried to call me out on Arkham Knight, motherfucker. I was just throwing it back in your face. It's called a bounce back.
Well, you bounced it back and you bounced it back good, so fuck.
As Ted from Scrubs would say, boing flip.
Oh, boing flip, man.
Rubber
boing
glue,
flip. There's a blast from the fucking past.
Rubber glue, motherfucker.
Who has 2000 just doesn't care.
This guy.
I was going to say Bob Kelso, but he's not here, so
No,
yeah.
Bob Kelso's not here.
Alright then.
But, yeah, on the subject of gaming, I think we're just gonna open the floodgate and we're gonna talk about all the different games that are coming out over the next month, or over the next couple of months, because there's just so many, especially 3DS titles. For me, especially because I'm more of a handheld gamer than I am a console gamer, and like I said, I move about quite a lot. I've always got time to crack open my DS and play a few rounds of whatever I have on my DS, but I don't always have the time to sit down and devote a lot of time to a console game. So I tend to be more invested in the handheld games, which is why Nintendo are just draining my wallet this month and next month, because we have Bravely Second in a couple of weeks actually.
End of the month,
27th.
Hold on, let's find out. 26th.
26
of this month. I personally just got the demo. I need to start that, but I will say I'm looking forward to the demo and the game, as Bravely Default was the first game that dragged me away from my PC, which I am hardwired into for an entire month. It's like no game has done that before except Bravely Default. It's like, fucking yes, we are getting the sequel, and yes, I'm going to play the hell out of it.
As a rebuttal to James's love of Bravely Default, I thought it was an absolutely astonishing game. The graphics for a 3DS title were really good. The job system was phenomenal, but then again, as soon as you got Dark Knight, you didn't really need Dark Knight and is it Alchemist?
No, Herbalist.
Herbalist. You did not need any other. You just put Agnes as your herbalist, have her heal everybody, and just have everyone do Darkbane. Because Darkbane was an attack that hit everybody and dealt about potentially 999 damage.
Yeah, it did max damage. It did level cap damage. It was a complete cheese strat. It was absolutely broken as shit. Yeah. But it was necessary, and I think I know exactly where you're coming.
You know exactly what I'm going to
I will agree with you right now. I give this game high praise. I love this game. Yes, it's in the top 90s in ratings or whatnot, but fuck ratings. I don't give a shit about them. I'll play a game because I like it. But yes, chapters 7 through fucking 10.
Tell 'em.
Making you repeat the same 4 boss battles over and over for a 4-time cycle. I agree, it's completely over the top. It killed any sense of pacing. I understand what they were trying to do in terms of the story. I like the fact that as you went through the resets, the standard boss battles were standard, they were the same. The optional boss battles that you could do...
ridiculous, because everyone started grouping up.
Yes, they got absolutely ridiculous, and they were wonderful. You're fighting everybody solo, that's fine. Then they paired up. Then they trioed up, until finally you had the 4 groups of 4, and holy fuck, you were getting your ass wrecked. Like, I am a major fan of games that will cram in hidden super bosses, basically. Yeah. I am a super boss nut. Like, if you finish a game and you finished it, but you realize there's still more to it, that's the sign of a good game. And Bravely Default was on the right track with that. It's just they did it in the middle of the game, which was weird as shit. Like, why would you do that? So I'm hoping in Bravely Second they've learned from this.
Yeah, and they've got rid of the reset thing.
Like, they get rid of the reset. That pacing is... They keep the pacing that they had. They keep it going. They climax. Then you have super bosses. And just... I know they've changed the classes. I know they've brought other things. It'll be nice to see what the cheese strats are. Yeah. It'll be nice to see what other builds that people come out with, other job classes, whatever you want to call them. But it's just a case of come, end of the month, come fast, please.
Yeah, get here quickly.
Yeah.
Now for me, the main kind of drawbacks to Bravely Default were the like James just said there, the resets and the complete reset of the game. You go back to the start. For me, I actually restarted the game because I thought my game broke. I thought, oh well, shit, that's my game reset itself, so I'll just do the game again. So I went through the game again, got to the reset, and it happened. I said, right, I'll look this up, and there wasn't that many spoilers of it because I did make my way through the game fairly quickly. So I got back to the 4th crystal, done that, fought the kind of mid-tier boss, or the midpoint boss. Then that happened again. I thought, right, I must have to just do this. I went and done the crystals, then the game reset again. I went and done the crystals, the game reset again. Went and done the crystals. I've done it all 4 times. or all how many ever times it needed, and I got the bad ending, and it came up something, you forgot to do something, or whatever cryptic message it was at the end.
That was the thing that I actually liked about that. The things were there. While doing the resets, if you had a look at Ares' wings,
Yeah, but that was
the
such a
numbers
cryptic,
were
yeah.
coming down. It was cryptic.
Yeah.
Well, of course it was. It was a butterfly's pattern on the
Yeah.
wings, and it was great. But the part that got me, that I loved, was that it was deliberately baiting you in to shattering the crystal.
Yeah.
That's what it was doing. Because you done the reset. You done the reset. You done the right. You're like, I've done the reset. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
I'm shattering the crystal. And you finish the game. You get the bad ending, and then it comes up, Bravely Default, where the fairy flies, and it goes black and disappears. Apart from in red, Aerie lies. And you're like, you fucking bitch.
I know that was like Machiavellian levels of you bastard, because like James says, the title of the game is Where the Fairy Flies, so you just think, oh, it's just a weird fruity title that they threw onto a game to kind of make it sell better or make it more appealing to whatever the hell they decide to do with it. Then, like James said, you get to that point and it says Aerie lies, and like you just start racking through your brain. What did Aerie lie about? Are you really what you say you are? Like you're in the same reality? What the hell happened? And you just keep going through the game, and you get to a certain point, you realise you can shatter the crystals. You're like, if I shatter the crystals, like, the game's telling you nothing about it. Then you shatter the crystal and it comes up. What happens when you break the crystal again? It's been that long since I've done it.
Breaking the crystals is the bad ending. Like
Yeah.
you break the crystals, you go down into the final dungeon and you fight Aerie,
Yeah.
and you do the 2 forms of Aerie, and that's it. Like the game is done. You're like, yeah, there you go, the game's done. Sweet, I've done it. And that's when Aerie lies comes up, and you're like, fuck. So you go round and you go round and you go round and you do the loops until eventually it gets to 1, because once the timer gets to 1 on her wings, that's when you realise, ah shit, she's actually summoning her master, and oh fuck, there's the true final boss.
Yeah.
So it was a case of Aerie lies means in general, like, you have to decide where you don't trust her.
Yeah.
Like, do you trust her by saying she's screaming at you, no, don't shatter the crystal? Oh, she lies, I have to shatter the crystal.
Yeah.
Bad ending. Oh, what else is she lying about? Like, oh, she's actually lying about the entire situation. She's not here to help you. She's fucking you over.
Yeah.
She's trying to bring her master into the
majorly
world.
fucking you over.
Yeah, she's trying to bring her master into the world. That's it. That's done.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, it was great, and I wonder how many people, not including those in Japan since they've already had it, are racking their brains and seeing what end layer is going to become.
Yeah.
It's like, is end layer going to become anything
I think it's
like
an
that?
anagram.
Do you think it's
I think it's an
anagram?
I think
for
we're going to
something?
get to the. I think we're going to do the kind of midpoint, and then we're going to check the game, and the letters are going to fly all over the screen. They're going to spell out something. I think it's going to be fucking great. People are going to lose their minds over it. But one thing I want to note is one of the main bad characters in it, the guy with the great sword. He has a fairy with him. But see if it's just another Aerie, I'm going to be annoyed. But if it's another fairy that has the kind of same.
Yeah, if it's not Aerie, basically. It's a fairy,
Yeah.
but it's not Aerie. That's fine. That's what we want.
Because I've got a funny feeling Tiz, who is back in the game, who's the main character
Well-
from Bravely Default, if he's in Bravely Second, he will just snap that fairy's neck there and then. It's like, nope, not having you summon any monsters.
To my knowledge, Tiz is back. Tiz,
Yeah, but you don't play as him.
No, you don't. You play as the female lead, I believe.
Yeah, he plays you.
As you play as you. See, I've not played the demo yet. It's
Alright.
there. I want to play it,
Yeah.
but I've not
Well,
played
in
it
the,
yet.
In the demo that James is referring to, you play in Bravely Default. You played as 4 characters. A Lee, who is she's the heir to an empire or something like that.
She is. She's.
And then there's Ring a Bell, who has the best name ever. Ring a Bell because he's an amnesiac. He doesn't know where the hell he came from, and it's absolutely golden how they incorporate that amnesia into the game. Then you have Agnes Oblige, who is a crystal priestess.
Yeah.
Then you have Tiz, who's the sole survivor of a massive catastrophe that is linked into the game. He plays those 4 characters. You find out through the course of the game that Tiz is celestial or part celestial or something like that, and they set that up. It's fucking golden. But in the Bravely Second, these characters are legend, with the exception of Agnes, who's now the Pope.
Well, she, from what I've seen in all the trailers and whatnot, she is still a crystal priestess.
No, she's the Pope.
She-
Play the game.
well-
She's called Grand Pope Agnes.
Okay, she's Grand Pope Agnes, but she's in this place in the sky, of
Yeah.
course, surrounded by crystals.
Yeah, it's just a
So-
crystal with buildings attached to it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So it's like
No, the
Final
4
Fantasy in a fucking
yeah.
nutshell.
The 4 characters that you play as, there's you, I can't remember his name, he's the leader of these guys, the 3 Cavaliers. There's I think it's Janna, who's I think he's pegged to be the kind of Ring a Bell character. There's another kind of mage character whose name escapes me. And there's Magnolia, who knows about Tiz, and I think her whole purpose is to free Tiz, like meet Tiz, free Tiz, all that crap.
I believe she's the one you see at the end of Bravely
Yeah,
Default,
but I think-
freeing him.
I think that you play a bit before that. You help her get to that area. And I think
that's nice.
And I think what might happen is the 3 Cavaliers that you play as in the demo, they might die, or they might shift off and say, no, screw this is a bit too much. Then that's when maybe Edea, Tiz, and Agnes join up with, well, maybe not Agnes, because she's got a bigger
I'm
role.
thinking Agnes is not a playable character. I'm thinking Agnes is your assist, and this is like she is Aerie. She's the Aerie equivalent in this one. But like it's certainly an interesting concept, especially because the demo itself is a prequel story. Like you need to play this demo to get the basis of the story for Bravely Second. The stuff that you're getting in here is exclusive to that. You will not get this in the main game. It'll be interesting to see what things carry over, and we're going to go from there. But
now with me, I think if like what would get me the most game for my money is if they do exactly what I said there. The 3 Cavaliers, because they've been featured in the main trailer, so they're going to be back in some description. But if they kind of disappear, then Tiz, with his new celestial abilities, comes to the forefront. Then you have maybe an older Edea, who's now, I think, the general of whatever empire she belongs to. Obviously, Ringabel won't really be there because he's technically dead or continually dying throughout the time stream.
I don't know if they stop the loop, but again, that comes into a subject that I don't want to go into. I hate fucking paradoxes, so leave it at that.
So pretty much he's continually dying. Then Agnes, she's got the kind of grand role. I think she'll be mainly an advisor to that little speech stone thing.
Yeah, she'll
even at that, you still have Tiz, who's almost, in fact, at the end of the game, if you play him right, he's a powerhouse. Because I double classed Monk and Dark Knight, which gave him a shit ton of health and damage, but more damage with the Dark Knight, but the ability to strip damage away insanely quickly on the enemy characters. So if you build him right, he's a badass threat, and then you find out he's part celestial for some weird reason. It's just going to work. I think we're going to see a really, really kick-ass different Tiz in this game.
Oh yeah, no, he's going to be a different Tiz. That's guaranteed. From the artwork that I've seen, he's different Tiz. Different Tiz. But no, so what else is coming out in February here? We know that's coming out.
In February, we've also got the 2 Zelda titles. We have Hyrule Warriors Legends, which I'm really, really looking forward to. James, who has purchased the Wii U version, is probably not looking forward to it as much because he's probably going to have to wait for the inevitable Legends update that will come out for the Wii U in, say, 6 months' time or something.
Well, see, that's my problem that I'm having. As you've pointed out to me, is there any point of me buying Hyrule Warriors Legends? Personally, I want it. I want to play as Linkle. I want to play all the new stuff, and I want that watch. But I don't play handhelds enough to justify that, especially when I have Hyrule Warriors there, and I have all its DLC. And as you're saying, that inevitable moment when they go, here's your Legend stuff for the original Hyrule Warriors. Well, there we go. So that's me wasting money on that one. But
and the other Zelda title that's coming out is the HD re-release of Twilight Princess, which I'm really looking forward to because Twilight Princess was one of the games that kind of brought me into Legend of Zelda. Obviously, I played Minish Cap when I was younger. That kind of translated to a bit of the Four Swords, but I never really had a good copy of that, so I couldn't play it well. Then a while passed, and what got me back into Zelda was Twilight Princess because it was awesome. It was more real than the other Zelda. It was less cartoony. The settings looked outstanding. The backgrounds for a Wii game looked absolutely incredible. So it's going to be beautiful seeing them in 1080p, and just the whole backstory of the game was great. And the fact that we're getting a little Wolf Link in Midna amiibo looks pretty cool.
Fucking yes.
I'm not an amiibo collector, but this thing does look pretty nice, and it's got a lot of applications in the game. And along with all the other amiibos, like if you tap a Link amiibo to the game, I think it refills all your consumables like your arrows and your bombs, and I think a bit of your health. If you tap Zelda, it refills all your health. If you tap Sheik as well, it refills all your health. If you tap Ganondorf, all your health disappears.
Oh yes, negative effect with Ganondorf. That's legendary.
I can tell. Like my brother has the Ganondorf amiibo, so I can tell a lot of times he's going to be sitting playing Twilight Princess HD. I'm just going to tap it to his Wii U tablet and run away.
Oh, that's evil. That's evil, but it's glorious.
It's no more evil than playing Super Mario Bros. Wii U and making the little blocks so they can't jump up, so they just keep falling down.
You're never getting that pad again. I swear to God.
Blame blame my older brother who showed me, or who said to me, you could probably put blocks up there and stop people from jumping up. So I tried that, but then with Nintendo games, if you jump up and you have nothing to fall down, you fall quicker. So you just went from up top, almost landing in a block, to straight down at the bottom. Glorious.
No. But no, just to say there, Twilight Princess HD is scheduled for 4th of March, pending no delays, and Hyrule Warriors Legends is 25th of March. So
either
there
way,
we go.
Nintendo will be getting a lot of money from me that month.
Indeed.
Because I probably will buy Final Fantasy Explorers, which you have bought. You've been playing quite a lot of, and seeing on the game page, I just realised that Resident Evil Origins Collection is now available. I will need to go and buy that and play that.
Oops, shouldn't have clicked the page.
Yep.
But no, Final Fantasy Explorers, I will say right now, off the bat for anybody, it is Monster Hunter with a Final Fantasy skin. I am not that much of a Monster Hunter fan myself, but I love this game to death. Yes, it's fun. I get to make a character that has whatever skills I want based on the Final Fantasy world. I can go kick Eidolons' asses, or summons if you're old school. It's fun seeing them all, and the game even opens up with you saying, "Yo, look, it's Bahamut." Oh, fuck! And it's
That's
wonderful.
That's got to be a hell of a trial by fire, because Bahamut is one of the big bad
He
summons
is-
in the game, and he's your first fight.
He is
That is
the
like
big
going
bad.
into Monster Hunter, and your first fight is a Brachydios. Brachydios can fire slime fire at you. If that hits you, you get hit with slime damage. Then it blows up, and you get hit with slime and fire damage.
Yep, but no, like I will say that it's a Monster Hunter clone without a doubt.
I don't think
it
they
has
even tried to hide that. They just went, "Yeah,
Nope.
this is a clone."
Nope, and it's great the fact that they've not hid it. They've taken the Final Fantasy series and put it into a Monster Hunter game,
Yeah.
and it's nice, and I enjoy it.
I have no problem with that, because if there's one thing I would like from my Monster Hunter is a better lock-on system, because the lock-on system that they have is not that great. The lock-on system that they have means you can aim better at them, and the camera mainly fixes on them, but it doesn't fix on them constantly.
No, they definitely having the lock-on system helps a whole lot. And I'm thinking here, there is a lot of shit that I could talk about, but I know that we're getting to
Yeah, we're kind of getting to the end of this episode. We're sitting.
getting to the end of it right now. So I'm trying to think that there's one thing that I would like to bring up, and the reason for that is because I seen the trailer for this today, and that's Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
You seen the trailer for it today? Okay.
With the trailer, the trailer's name is I Am Faith, and I have to say that this took any doubt that I had and erased it from my mind. This game is going to be fucking glorious, to the point of, like, I don't care if this is a prequel or a sequel. I don't know the context of the trailer that they gave us. It's just, it looks gorgeous. I will say, for any Mirror's Edge fan, they have reduced the bloom by the looks of it. It's not blinding polished white anymore. It's still white with your blues, your yellows, and your reds showing you where to go and whatnot. But that, it's just, yes.
Especially that on a PlayStation 4 or say an Xbox One, that's got to look really, really
Oh,
good.
it's going to look phenomenal. And just, if anybody gets the chance after listening to this podcast, I'm saying today is Thursday the 4th
We're
of
recording
February.
this quite late on a Thursday the 4th of February. This episode, with editing and adding in other things, will probably go up, say, Monday night. So by the time you listen to this, just take James's advice and go and watch it. Because apparently, I mean, if it's enough to make James, who's pretty critical about most things, say, "Holy shit, this game looks good," I'd give it a watch, quite frankly.
I mean, even if you're not a Mirror's Edge fan, if, like, I'd still say go have a look at it. Like, EA/DICE/ whichever team is working on this at this very moment in time, they're doing a stellar job. Like, it's, yes, the beta sign-ups are available. I've already signed up for it to make sure. The game itself is coming out in May. Tentative release date is 26th of May. Obviously, after the beta, if there's any issues, that can be delayed, but we shall see. So, Dom, I'm going to hand it back to you.
And back to me, like James said, we're going to wrap up this episode fairly quickly, or fairly soon, but not without talking about the two newest additions to the Smash Bros. Universe, those being Miss Bayonetta and Corrin. Could be male or female, depending on how you like to play the character. Before we got here, we kind of ran through a couple of stories. We played a few matches with Corrin and Bayonetta. I chose mainly Corrin because I'm the bigger Fire Emblem fan, and James, he played a shit ton of Bayonetta. Obviously, it's a new character, you don't pick it up instantly. James did die quite a bit.
Oh, I never won any matches. We played about 7. I lost them all. So,
People who are saying that Corrin is your typical sword wielder, he or she, depending on who you play as, because like with Robin, you can go male or female. It's meant to be your representation, so obviously you can play as whatever race, whatever fucking gender you feel like. Race is now a gender, damn it. He plays whatever gender you feel it. So he or she barely uses her sword. Obviously her A button attacks are using her sword, but more often than not, she's using her dragon power. she's using her like the water ball, which deals so much damage. And there's a lot of hit stun, and the straight B move when you charge the water ball is 2 hit. So you throw out the initial fireball, that stuns them, then you can do a kind of chomping motion with the second part of the move. And most of our A attacks or smash attacks use kind of dragon spear type moves. Like her hand will turn into a dragon spear and it'll stab you, and then her side B, she'll skewer you with that dragon spear and then do a kind of launching kick off the edge of the stage. She barely uses her sword, and she is not by any stretch of the imagination your typical sword user. She's like Roy. There's been enough done to Roy that he doesn't feel like Marth. He feels completely different to Marth. He feels a lot heavier, a lot slower, a lot more input heavy for me. But with Corrin, I'm just so pleased that this character has made it into the game, and I'm so pleased that it's kind of made a change to traditional sword wielders. I'm just pleased how she's turned out and how well she looks in the game, and how smooth the transitions are from them being in their human form to them being in their dragon form. It's just seamless. There's nothing. I can't really grumble with this character at all. As for Bayonetta, I'm going to throw it over at James because he had more game time with Bayonetta. I tried playing her once and I ended up continually down being and suiciding myself off the edge of the stage. So I'll let you give your 10 pence on Bayonetta.
Oh, Bayonetta is certainly a very interesting character with Smash, and I'll say off the bat here that I love the way that the developers of Smash have incorporated characters such as Bayonetta, yeah, Bayonetta, Ryu.
I play Smash Bros. Bayonetta.
There you go. But bringing those characters into the game, but bringing them in with the control schemes from the games that they were from. I love the fact that they've managed to bring these in, and it works. Bayonetta is no exception. She has her combo string of system. Like, the combos are what make Bayonetta. She is, in my opinion, primarily an air-based character. Her skills generally knock you into the air so she can follow up with her combos.
Yeah, she's a very combo-heavy, like execution-heavy character.
Yes,
just from what I've seen you play, it's mostly about hitting her with the up B and then using that up B to kind of channel your dive kicks about the place.
Yeah.
And she has a mean dive kick, and that drop kick, the axe kick with the leg, which she can then combo into guns to stagger and then feed it in another combo.
Yeah.
I think she's kind of, if Ryu is the combo king, she's definitely the combo queen.
Oh, she's definitely the combo queen. The way it works, as you were pointing out there, getting into, like, her up B can be used in such a combo where you do her up B, you jump, you do her up B again. You can do it a second time. You can do her side B, which is her dive kicks. Like, her side Bs are the first ever character where it's different if you use it on the ground or if you use it in the air. And because of that, it's allowing these chain combos to come in. But she is entirely combo heavy, and they have kept her looking as gorgeous as Bayonetta should. They've even kept her wicked weaves, which are fantastic, while still keeping it PG Smash friendly, which is nice. That compromise is there. It is great. The stage that came with her as well, the opening to Bayonetta 1, and the different soundtracks that can play on that, they are flawless. It is. They have taken characters that you would not expect to be in Smash and made them something great.
One thing that I really, really did like about it is one thing that they've done right with Bayonetta, what they've done very, very wrong with Cloud. With Cloud, they gave us this character who's a fan favourite. Like, there's no doubt about it. He's a fan favourite character. But they gave us our Westerners, our English-speaking people, the Japanese voice, and I kind of thought, that's a bit shit. If they're going to bring this character over, why not give him his English voice, his Kingdom Hearts voice, his Advent Children voice? Fair enough, he's a really, really good character. I am not a Final Fantasy fan, but I enjoy the occasional match as Cloud. What they done right with Bayonetta though is they got Helena Taylor in to voice Bayonetta in Smash. I thought, hats off to Platinum Games, they're doing what Square Enix really should have done, just infinitely better. And the fact that she signed on to go over to Japan, record these lines for Nintendo, because I think the actual voice actress lives in London. So, I mean, when they made Bayonetta Bloody Fate, they came to her because they said, no, it's going to be a bit of an upset for you to come all the way to America, so we'll come to you. I think she had, obviously, most voice actors, actresses, musicians, they have recording studios in their own homes. So they just said, oh, you probably have a recording studio, we'll just record your lines there. You just send them over to us when you're done. And it kind of made me think Nintendo were pulling out all the stops with this Smash game. Because although people say it's trash, like the nickname for it on like Reddit and Tumblr is Trash, TR4SH. I think it's the best Smash game that we've had in a while. Melee, I'm just going to piss off a lot of Melee fans right now. Melee was not as good as you think it is. It's like Marvel 2, it's ridiculously broken so you can manipulate the game more. I don't like that. I like a solid game. Like, people are going to fucking destroy me for this if they're a Melee fan. Brawl was solid. Brawl had the tight controls. Fair enough, I had the banana mechanic where if you ran for so long you could randomly trip. one of our mutual friends would literally throw the controller down if he slipped too many times. But maybe we could get him on the show. Like,
One day.
One day I'm going to try and get this guy on the show after we've played a few games of Brawl, because he will just be salty as shit. The salt will be flowing. But yeah, Brawl had this slip mechanic. It kind of took a lot of people out of the game. It kind of put me into it more, because you'd have to watch out for it. If you wanted to keep your combo going, you wanted to be ever flowing in your combo, you had to watch out for it. And it brought in more characters. It brought in different characters. It brought in, like, my personal favourite Ike, my other personal favourite Solid Snake. Those are my two mains in Brawl. It brought in all these different characters. It brought in Pokemon Trainer. It brought in Wario. It brought in Rob. All these different characters that people never think would be in a Smash game were in Smash Bros. Brawl. Then you have Smash 4, which takes that unorthodox nature from Brawl and just builds upon it and makes it a better, more high-polished game. So quite frankly, Smash 4 to me is the best Smash ever. Quite frankly, fuck you Melee fans.
I will say, and I'm not going to go as far as saying fuck you Melee fans, but each
He
to
may
their
not be saying it, but he's thinking it.
No, in all seriousness, each to their own. If you enjoy Melee
Yeah,
more
I mean,
than
of
Smash,
course, I'm all for
go
it.
for it.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm all for do your own thing, but for me, Melee's just...
Melee is an old game, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
if
it has not aged well
going
for me.
going back playing, like, God, I'll go back and play the original on the N64 for fuck's sake. There were only 8 characters, and Luigi and Jigglypuff were the ones that you unlocked. It's like, oh, damn, man, that was great fun. I'm sorry, I got told I can play one match of that. I set a 99 stock match, and away we fucking went. That match lasted about 3 hours. But no, I will say Smash 4 is, for me, the definitive edition. I'm loving the rumours about an NX Smash. I God hope that it comes true, and it's not just a port of Smash 4 with all its DLC.
Yeah.
Because I'll be pissed. I've spent the money on the DLC. I
like Smash 4 that much. If I bought an NX, whatever the hell it could be, people are saying it could be an Android, a mobile like device thing, or it could be a handheld, or it could be another console. I really don't care. I will buy it, and I will buy Smash 4 NX if it is a title. I'd buy it again because I really have enjoyed Smash that much. I bought it twice for fuck's sake.
Well,
bought it for Wii U and 3DS.
Well, so did I, but I will admit I play the Wii U version more than the 3DS.
Yeah, I'm a handheld console gamer.
But the rumors are flying around that NX Smash will be a release title.
That'd be great.
Title.
That'd be absolutely
Now,
great.
Unfortunately, I have a very, very heavy judgment on that one, because Nintendo and launch titles don't generally mix too well.
No, they're not
They're
really
third
great
party, they release their consoles too early. Not because they're unfinished, but because they don't have the games to back them up. That's my only gripe that I have with Nintendo when it comes to bringing out consoles. I hope NX is a home console, not a handheld. They are fine with the 3DS XL right now.
Yeah.
They're stomping the Vita, they're stomping Android, they're stomping mobile. The only thing they're losing on is microtransactions, because Nintendo don't generally delve in those. The next thing has
Even
to be
at that,
a
the
console.
eShop has been working really well. People say
eShop-
that it's shit, but I have had no problems with it whatsoever.
eShop is the eShop, and I'm fine with that. I'm waiting to see what their next Club Nintendo thing is going to be, because it's going to link into all that jazz. Hopefully it'll be better. Miss you, Club Nintendo. Miss your VIP rewards. I do have a few of you, but it'll be nice when we get that up and running. Integrated the Nintendo network with the new consoles. They'll never be as strong as Xbox Live or PlayStation Network, but they're never supposed to be.
Nah.
So
Nintendo, like, to my mind, Nintendo were always that ridiculously good computer company that could make consoles consoles that could rival the PlayStation 4, could rival the Xbox One, but because they want to keep it relatively cheap and put games out that everybody will enjoy, like Mario, I'm genuinely struggling to think of Nintendo titles apart from Mario and Zelda.
look to your left.
I mean Splatoon, that would look amazing on another console, but because they want to make it for relatively cheap and give it to people for cheaper, they're going to keep it to this relatively restrained system. Even though it is 1080p and it can be 60 frames per second,
Yeah.
they still want to keep it relatively cheap. And without the Wii U, we have no Bayonetta 2.
No, exactly.
And without the Wii U, we don't have awesome games like Xenoblade Chronicles X, which I do have a gripe with, by the way. But we'll save that for like when I finish this sentence, because we are getting close to the end of this. So, in fact, actually, I'll probably just say my gripe with Xenoblade Chronicles now. My gripe with Xenoblade Chronicles is the game gets a lot better once you get your scale, which is your mech unit. But what really pisses me off, you have to buy a kind of device called scale insurance, which means that when your scale gets blown up, it reappears back in your base. I did not know this. I went through 3 scales before I realised that you can buy scale insurance, but it doesn't say that you can buy scale insurance. It just says, here's your scale, away you go. But yeah, this has been a very, very game-heavy episode of the
No, it wasn't. It was Marvel comic and DC comic heavy.
Well,
but still, it was.
I mean,
it's,
for once in the Gibberpish podcast, we have delivered exactly what we said we were going to do. I know when I do the podcast with Colin, we cover a wide range of subjects, but most of the time, those podcasts are taken up with Sports Corner. Obviously, I'm a huge sports fan. James really isn't, so we can't really talk about that. This has been a very comic booky, video gamey, TV show, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey goodness. It's just been it's been a nice thing to do. Like, obviously, I like podcasting with Colin, but it's nice to mix it up a bit and do other things. He went and podcasted with a group called Badger and Pals. They have their YouTube channel. Argick, check them out. They do some really funny stuff. Fellow homegrown Scottish comedy. Check them out on YouTube. They have their own podcast. Me and Colin will be helping them out with that. He'll be appearing on a few episodes of their thing. Schedules permitting, we might get James back in another episode. We might get some more special guests on it, because with the way my schedule's looking, me and Colin might not be behind the mic again for a while. But if I can do anything about it, me and Colin will be back behind the mic potentially next week, bringing you the traditional Gibberpish podcast goodness. Things you've got to look forward for next week: we're going to have a massive sports corner because Scotland play England this Saturday. I will be watching the game through in Edinburgh, so you can either expect an extremely salty Dom or an extremely fucking joyous and exuberant Dom. But until then, I've been Dom Anderson. I've been
James Kett,
and you've been listening to us talk Gibberpish.